This is Files and Folders Part 4, and I have been working with a student, and the student is still having some difficulty, so we're going to work with this student and we're going to work with everybody else as well. You see this symbol right here? This is an icon. This specific icon represents a folder, and this is the name of the folder. Okay, you see the name of the folder? This is the icon that represents a folder. This is a folder. Down here we have names of files. Now specifically, this is a word processing document file. This is Microsoft Word file. Okay, the file name here is a rich text file. That's what RTF actually stands for, is rich text file. Okay, doc stands for document. You'll find all kinds of little file extensions here. The way you know a difference between a folder and a file is the files will always have a file extension. This is the file extension DOC, right over here. See the file extension DOC? That says it's a document file. This says it's a rich text file because it has RTF. Okay? Any time you see a file extension, which is a period followed by 3 letters, now sometimes it'll be followed by 2 letters, but most of the time it's going to be followed by 3. You're going to have a file name, a period, and then 2 or 3 letters at the end. That tells you that this is some kind of a file. This is a file. This is a folder. Alright. Now, let's say I want to create a new folder. Now I covered this in Files and Folders Part 2. And I said in that lesson that you are to hold down the Alt key. When you start holding down the Alt key, you don't let that Alt key go until you do this sequence. Alright? You're going to type the letter F. You're not going to hold down the letter F. You're going to type the letter F. And then you're going to type the letter W. Okay? You're going to type the letter W, but you're not going to hold down the letter W. And by doing this, as you can see here, first of all, a dialog box appeared, and now a second dialog box has appeared. Okay? Remember, you're still holding down your Alt key, but you're not going to hold down the F or the W. Now, afterwards, you're going to type the letter F. So it is F, W, F. You're going to hold down the Alt key as you type each one of those letters. Okay? You hold down the Alt key, you type the letter F, a dialog box will appear. You type the letter W, a second dialog box will appear. You type the letter F again, and now you have this. See how it says new folder? Alright, let's say you want to get rid of that name. Well, then you see that the name is highlighted. See how it's highlighted in blue? You're going to push the backspace key. And then you can type whatever name you want. Now I'm going to type in TED1. Okay? And when I do, I hit enter. And now it's folder TED1. This is a folder. It is now named TED1. Let's say you don't like that name. Okay? Can you change the name of a folder? Yes, you can. You're going to right-click the folder. See how I've got the folder highlighted? See how now you see this? This is highlighted now. Okay, if you want to highlight this, you click it with your left mouse button. To highlight this folder, you're going to click your left mouse button as you hover the mouse over your folder. Okay, and then once it's highlighted, see how it's highlighted in blue? Alright, now you're going to click the right mouse button, and as you can see here, a dialog box will appear. You're going to see a whole ton of options here. We're going to go all the way down here to rename. See how see how our mouse is over the rename button? Or the rename option? These are all options. This is a menu. Okay, this dialog box is a menu, and you're going to click this rename right here, and now you can rename the folder anything you want. We're not going to rename this folder at this point. Now then, let's say we want to let's say we want to copy this file. This is a file. How do we know it's a file? Because it has a period at the end followed by 3 letters. You see the period right there and the 3 letters? That means that that's a file. We're going to first highlight the file by left-clicking the file. Now it's highlighted. I want you now to hold down the control button. You're not going to let go of the control button until you get over to the folder. Now you're going to hold down the control button, you're going to press the letter C. Now when you press the letter C, that means that you're telling the computer to copy that file to the clipboard. Now it's only copying the file. It's not deleting the file, it's not doing anything else to the file, it's copying it. So we're going to have a carbon copy of this file placed into this folder. Okay? Now then, we've placed this on an invisible clipboard. Okay, you can't see the clipboard. Do you see a clipboard on here anywhere? No. But it's there anyway. Okay? That's Microsoft's way of saying, hey, we've copied this to a place where we can now do a copy and paste. Alright? Now, you have now copied this to the clipboard. So you're holding down the control button, you press the letter C, copy this to the clipboard. Now, we're going to shrink this down. You can see this is the minimize button. We're going to shrink this down. We are now going to open up TED 1. How do you open up TED 1? You double click it. Now that it's double clicked, okay, you're going to hold down the control button. Remember, you haven't let go of the control button yet. And you're going to press the letter V. And voila! The file is there. Okay? Alright. If you have any questions, leave a comment down here, and I will help you out further. This is Ted the Speed Learner signing off.